Hey, how's it going, guys? Garcia here with your daily portfolio update. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the third day that stocks are down, at least the stocks that I'm holding, and we'll kind of talk about what are some of the things that I'm doing in response to that. So let's get into it. Today, we are down to $339,593.50. And you'll see here, the individual margin has gone up to as high as 20,000 that I was using margin for a couple of days, went down to about 1,000, and today it went back up to 4,400. And I'll show you why. So let's get into the Roth IRA. Is down 6.7% today. Year to date, down 4.6%, and all time up 118%, going back to December 11th, 2023. Buying power is only 42 cents now. That is because there is a new position in the portfolio. I took advantage of today's drop. I woke up this morning and I saw HIMS down 25% at one point. And that's when I said, okay, this is getting ridiculous. I immediately bought shares as soon as I could in the at $51. Then I immediately looked up to make sure that everything was okay with the company, that headquarters wasn't hit by an asteroid or anything. So it wasn't. The thesis is still intact. I think they're going to continue growing like crazy. And this is just another bump in the road when it comes to a growing stock like HIMS. And so far, so we're down 5% on the shares that we bought, but it is now bigger than the TSLL position. So that is the number 2 holding in this account. RKLB was down 7.2% today. TSLL was down 9%. And this is the total holdings. So 3,000 in HIMS to start off. And let's see, the next account is down 6.2%. Year to date, up 27%. And 372% all time, going back to August 2nd of 2021. Buying power is 253,000. So you'll notice I'm not using too much of options collateral yet. And I do it on purpose because I think it is important to have this buying power high, especially during times of high volatility. I want to make sure I'm not using up all of my, portfolio margin for cash secured puts when the portfolio is near all-time highs. If I'm fully utilizing all of the buying power, if stocks start tanking, something crazy happens, I'm not going to have any flexibility to start doubling down on cash secured puts or rolling them out, that would be advantageous to me. And that's why it's important for me to keep it up as high as I can. And whenever I do enter a new position, like these cash secured puts on HIMS, I want to make sure I start off with only 3 contracts on HIMS, because that represents about 1/8 of the total available margin. And the reason I start with 1/8 or a quarter is so I have the flexibility to double down once, twice, even 3 times in this scenario. So if HIMS were to tank, like right now, let's say if I wanted to buy to close and I wanted to open up 6 contracts, I would need at least half of the value of 645, which is about 325, let's call it. So I want to make sure I get at least 325 per contract. And I can roll down to $43 for March 7th. Or if I were to roll out for, let's say, April 17th, I can go down as low as 38. I can go down as low as $38. And if I were to double down again, I can go even lower than that. And that's why I do it, because I don't know what the stock is going to do today or tomorrow, or even next week, or even next month. I am just going to react to what happens. So my reaction to HIMS going down 25% in one day is, hey, I'm going to sell some cashier puts, take advantage of these options that went up by look at how much it went up today, 512%. These options were worth about $1 yesterday. Today, they're worth $6. So each contract was paying $100 yesterday. Today, an option seller is receiving $625 per contract. So this is terrible for someone who just recently sold here, but it's good if you're selling here, if you don't expect it to continue tanking too much. But if it does, I'm ready to double down. That's my reaction to the stock going down. I'm not going to be telling you what the stock is going to do today or tomorrow. I'm just going to react accordingly. And another way I reacted is by buying shares. I've been wanting to build a position in this company since the high 20s, the 30s. And something Palantir taught me is if you have a high growth company that's growing like crazy, and it takes a breather like this, like a 25%, retrace, it might not go all the way back to where I wanted to buy it. Just because I wanted to buy it in the 20s a month ago doesn't mean that it has to go all the way back here to satisfy my wishes. So I'm going to start buying. I'm not going to go all in right now, but I'm going to start my DCA process here, because I think it's a reasonable price to start buying the stock after it's recently been in the 70s. That's just the way I approach it. I approach investing in a simple way. I don't use too much technical analysis or people. I don't rely on people telling me when to buy, when to sell. I just rely on my own instincts, on what I perceive to be a decent entry for a stock, and I keep it simple. I just start buying shares, and that's just the way I do it, and it works for me. Okay, this is the total percent return, and here is the equity. There it is, and I'll move that up. I like having it in order. So HIMS is officially the third largest position in both portfolios. Okay, let's see what's going on Twitter. I'll just kind of go through some of them. So this guy yesterday, Jay Boltard. So this guy seems to be like a trader, someone who sells subscriptions, or people pay to see like what he's doing. And this guy has just been trashing like long-term investors, like saying, like Arnie responded, "Hey, I'm still up 1,000%. I'll survive." And he goes, "Congrats, Arnie. We're all very impressed with your ability to buy and hold. You're utilizing a lot of skill, my friend." And it's just, he's a trader. Arnie's an investor. I don't understand why he looks down on people who are just buy hold investors. I think people who are traders are great if they can make money that way. I'm not going to trash them for it, but I just think it's ridiculous to tell people who are invested in Palantir like, wow, you're such an idiot for not taking profits. Like, why would I take profits on a company that I got in early, that I believe is going to be an even bigger company in the future? It's like telling people who found Amazon, Microsoft, Apple early on, saying, hey, why don't you sell when it initially popped back in the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, like 2010s? If you believe the company is going to continue to grow, it just hold on, hang on for the ride. But if you're a trader, yeah, take your profits, trade it in and out. But that's just not me. Here's some of the trades. The hoe's mad with Palantir. You can't just point to your cost basis whenever Palantir goes down. It's under $20. I mean, that's just really how I feel. Palantir could tank to $80 tomorrow, and Palantir could tank to 30. I mean, Palantir could tank to 30. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'll give you the update. I'll be like, holy shit, guys. Palantir is now at $30. it looks like I have to sell my HIMS position. I had to sell the TSLL position to load up on Palantir again in the 30s, and I'll just buy more. That's really what the update would be. I would be increasing my share count in Palantir. I'm not going to be like, it's just insane, you know, like how easy at least I keep it. It looks like that's going to be it. I don't want to, you know, keep it going for too long. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday.